What's going on, guys? Jake here, back with another Pokemon Showdown video. Going to be doing some post commentary on it. Got these games with a team trying to feature Runerigus, I believe is how you say his name. I didn't know how to say it. I realized when I was playing with this team and built the team around him. I thought it was like Runerigus, like Cofagrigus, just Runerigus, but it's like there's an I in there, I think. But we both led with Gigalith. I went out into Weezing as he went for rocks. I was just kind of scared of my Gigalith taking a lot of damage. And then he went out into his Scrafty. As you can see, he's got Shed Skin, so my Will-O-Wisp kind of did nothing, but you get to know he's got Shed Skin. And then I went into Poliwrath on his knockoff, just because I didn't really want Weezing to lose its Black Sludge. I phased out his Lantern with the Circle Throw as it came in, and now he's in with his Gigalith. Again, he doesn't really want to stay in with the Gigalith. I go for the Scald there. I didn't really predict the Cofagrigus coming in, but it kind of worked out. I don't get the burn, but that is still alright. As I switch into my Lantern, he gets a Will-O-Wisp off on me, which kind of is unfortunate. Lantern only has leftovers for recovery, so I will need to remove that burn. I do carry Heal Bell, but it's just kind of got to look for an opportunity to use Heal Bell, because I kind of feel like I lose momentum when I go for it. I decided to go for the Toxic there as he switched into the Gigalith, and then I went for the Volt Switch. Being able to see that he stayed in, I figured he'd be going for an attacking move, so I went out into my Weezing. I think this is a pretty good opportunity to get up my Toxic Spike, so that's exactly what I do. And Toxic Spikes work really well with the Runerigus. My Runerigus only carries Body Press. It has Amnesia, Iron Defense, Body Press, and Rest with leftovers. So having the Toxic Spikes up means I'm able to kind of beat Ghost types because I'm able to get that damage with the Poison on them. So as long as I don't die, eventually they'll die to Poison. If I'm able to get up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, that is more ideal, or the most ideal. I get up my Stealth Rocks as he goes out into his Scrafty, and I head right back out into my Poliwrath again, not wanting to take anything from Scrafty with my Gigalith. As he goes for the Bulk Up, and I'm like, alright, I gotta Circle Throw this guy out, and I miss. So that turn I go for a rest. I think maybe I could have not rested there and went for another Circle Throw because I do outspeed, but I didn't want to risk it. And I go for the Sleep Talk. Unfortunately, I miss. Even though I got Circle Throw, I missed. But I end up getting Circle Throw again and was able to hit him on that third one, thankfully, as he gets phased out into the Cofagrigus. I decided just to go for the Scald there, as he gets up Toxic Spikes of his own, which is pretty annoying for my team, and I'm pretty sure Weezing doesn't remove them because it has Levitate. So at this point, I'm just staying in with my Poliwrath. Scrafty, I can't remember how low it is, but either way, we know I outspeed it now. So as long as I'm alive and I'm not dying to hazards, I'm alright with my Poliwrath. As he goes out into his Articuno, which has Freeze Dry, it's got flying moves. I know I can't take it on my Poliwrath, so I go out into my Gigalith. Gigalith is getting pretty weakened, and it is now poisoned. Thankfully, he does get scared out and switches right out into his Scrafty, but that means I do have to switch myself, so I decided to go out into my Lantern. I don't want to go hard into Poliwrath. I'm not sure how much I would take if he goes for an attack, and Lantern is like more expendable, I think, than Poliwrath is. So I decided to go for the Volt Switch there. I didn't think it was as risky of a play there to just go hard into the Poliwrath. As we see, he goes for the rest, and Shed Skin wakes him up right away. But it's better than him just attacking me because I'm able to freely get off my rest now because I do outspeed him. It's safe to go for as he goes out and does Articuno. Again, I can't stay in with my Poliwrath. I think it's pretty important to keep, and I decided to go on my Charizard here. I thought Charizard because I do outspeed the Articuno and I'd be able to take one hit and scare it out. I do get frozen though, so unfortunate, but I thought maybe I'd still scare him out, and I decided to go right out on my Runerigus, and I'm able to get a Spadef raise there with Amnesia as he goes down to his Gigalith. And Gigalith is just a Pokemon that's pretty easy for Runerigus to set up on. I think I called him Runerigus there again. So I decided to go for an Iron Defense there. So now I've got +1 defense, +2 defense, +2 Spadef, and his Ghost type is gone on his team. So even though I only got 1 layer of Toxic Spikes up, it's all right. I'm able to beat the rest of his members on his team with just having Body Press. Now I decided to boost my Spadef a little bit more because I think of all of his guys, his Lantern, his Articuno, his Magmortar would be the ones that threaten me the most. But there is Scrafty, and Scrafty does have knockoff, and I'm pretty sure I still have my leftovers. So I decided to rest there, and I'm hoping I'm not going to take too much from the knockoff, but I don't. I am fully invested with HP and defense on Runerigus, so I'm able to get a lot more I have a lot more bulk on the defense side without boosting, or before boosting. So I wake up there and I decide just to go for the body press right away because he's boosting right up against me. And I'm not sure how this will turn out if I let him boost, and I decided to just keep trying to boost alongside him. Especially with crits, I didn't really want to risk it, so I just decided to go for another body press and get a knockout there. And it's kind of interesting that we just trade abilities back and forth with the Wandering Spirit. He goes on to make Mordar. I'm just going to attack him right away. Again, I'm not sure how much I'll take and how much he'll do to me, but he ends up burning me and forfeiting, so we take that. On to game 2, this guy has a much cuter team. He also has a Ditto, so I'll kind of have to watch out for that with the Runerigus. But at the same time, we know I only have a fighting move on Runerigus, so his Ditto won't be able to beat me 1v1, and I get up. And if I get up Toxic Spikes, I'll be able to beat the Ditto even if it transforms into me with all my boosts. So that is good to know. I get up my Stealth Rocks right away with Gigalith, and then I go for a Scald on his Wigglytuff with my Lantern. Don't get a burn there, but it is alright, and I just decided to pivot out with a Volt Switch out into Gigalith. I kind of thought I would go for a Wish there, and now I think he's going to be going for Protect just because that's usually what people do. So I decided to go right out into Weezing, and I'm a Poison type and he's a Fairy type, and didn't think it'd be too scary, but at the same time I know it could have Hyper Voice, so I was kind of like risking it a little bit there. But I wanted to get my Toxic Spikes up, and I'm able to do that as he goes on to Togedemaru. I go onto my Lantern, and I do have the Volt Absorb, so I know I'm immune to any of his electric moves that he could go for. And I just start firing off some Scalds as he goes out into his Frostmoth. And he doesn't take Rocks or Toxic Spikes, so he's carrying the Heavy Duty Boots, which is to be expected with Frostmoth since it's 4 times weak to Rocks. I decide to go right out into my Gigalith as he gets up a Quiver Dance. I don't take too much from the Giga Drain, but I take a decent amount. But I decided just to go for the Rock Blast because if he gets up enough Quiver Dances, he's gonna sweep me. So I go into Runerigus there on the Togedemaru, and I think I can set up in front of this guy. So that's exactly what I tried to do. I decided to go for the Amnesia first though because he's got some special attackers and I want to be able to take a hit from them. And again, I do have more physical bulk naturally than I do special bulk. I go for another Amnesia there as he goes for a Wisp. And he's got Hex too, which is pretty cool, but it doesn't do too much. And I'm going to keep boosting, and he's going to forfeit. On to game 3, and this guy's got kind of a Sand team, it looks like. I think this is what Sand might look like in PU, but I'm not 100% sure. But he leads with the Sandaconda, gets up the Rocks, and I lead with my Weezing, and I get up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes right away, which is pretty sweet. He does have a Spinner in Sandslash, but I can Spin Block and take hits from Sandslash with Runerigus. So I go out into Poliwrath there on a Sandaconda and just start going for some Scalds. He does a good amount to me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna rest. I know it's kind of counterproductive because I'm not going to be taking another hit, but I think I'll end up with more HP if I just start trying to rest and recover than if I were to have just taken him out right away. I do recover some. I don't end up taking him out though, and I just face him out with the Circle Throw as he gets faced out into the Pylo Sand. I decided just to go out into my Gigalith, even though he's got a super effective hit on me. It's kind of my special wall, and Gigalith doesn't look super important. I'm not 100% sure what everybody does on his team, but in terms of special attackers, it's just like Pylo Sand to Jellicent. So he goes out into Sandaconda there, and I go out into my Charizard. I think we both switched at the same time. I didn't switch hard and Charizard into Sandaconda, and I just finished off with a Fire Blast. So he decides to go out into Jellicent, which totally makes sense, and I go out into my Lantern. I do have a Volt Switch, or Volt Absorb, not Water Absorb, so I can still take damage from like a Scald and potentially get burned. But that's alright, I think, and he goes for the Trick Room, which is pretty cool. I decided to go for the Volt Switch there. I know he's got several ground types, but I didn't think it was too risky, and I'm thinking now, let's go on to Runerigus. I keep saying his name differently, but that's alright. As he goes for the Rapid Spin, so we block that, and we get to keep our spikes up, which is really important. He does have 2 ghost types, keep that in mind, so in order for Runerigus to win, I need to get everything poisoned, which I think actually everything already is, but at the same time it's just kind of nice to keep the hazards around. I go out and then go right back out into Runerigus. I predicted him to go for the knockoff. I didn't really want to lose my leftovers right away, but at this point I'm kind of thinking I could lose the leftovers. I'm just going to try and set up. Again, I've got a lot of natural physical bulk, so I don't think I'll take too much of the knockoff, and I don't. So I'm able to just keep boosting. And again, I'm going to go for the special defense boost first, just to make sure I can take some special hits, because I've got less special defense, and he's got some special attackers that help me super effectively, like Jellicent. We end up taking down the Sandslash there, and he goes on to Pilosand first, which I'm surprised by, but I don't, at looking back, I don't know if his Jellicent had a water move. It's got Trick Room, I think we saw Will-O-Wisp. Maybe that's what we've seen, or maybe we've only seen Trick Room so far. But he goes on to Pilosand. I guess, actually, what am I saying? Pilosand can be super effectively too. I totally like brain farted there. So he is trying to just take me down, and it can get the Spadef drop. So I guess Pilosand totally made sense. But as you can see, I'm max Spadef at this point, and now I'm max defense. So it really doesn't matter what he goes into. I'm going to be able to take a hit, most likely, unless he crits me. I was kind of scared of him having Dragon Tail there, and if he did, I think he would have actually phased me out. They both have negative priority, but he's faster naturally, Drowdigon is, than Runerigus, but turns out he didn't have it, so he wasn't able to phase me out, which I don't know if that was luck or if they don't typically run Dragon Tail, but either way, that is another guy who goes down to Runerigus. Now he's just got three guys left, 2 ghost types, and his Lycanroc. Lycanroc will easily go down to a body press whenever it comes in. And as long as we don't get crit, we should beat Pilosand and Jellicent. So, again, my moveset on Runerigus is the Amnesia, Iron Defense, Body Press, and Rest with leftovers. So it pretty much is just, at this point, it's just me going for Rest if I feel like I'm taking too much damage, and then going for Body Press if his Lycanroc is in. I don't really want to waste the Body Press PP. And I have so much PP on all of my other moves, it's like I can just switch between them and click whatever I want. I don't think I'll be losing on PP. I guess if he kept switching between the two, maybe that would do it. And maybe that's what he should have done, but I don't know. This to me, I was just surprised Runerigus had put in this much work. I really only played like a few games, and I was able to get these 3 games that featured Runerigus pretty well. So yeah, he ends up forfeiting there, and Runerigus gets his 3rd sweep. If you guys enjoyed, definitely like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.